So hi guys, welcome. So we have a question here under the topic variation. So the question reads, so when you see problems like this, the first thing you want to do is you want to break it down into bits. So don't just try to absorb everything all at once. So we have in a restaurant the cost of providing a particular type of food, right? So we have a restaurant and we are dealing with a quantity called cost. So I'm going to let cost represented as C. So I don't just write cost, I'll just write in C. Now they said the cost is partially constant and partially inversely proportional. So the way we write this is that for the partially constant, we're going to write K. Then, since they said it is partially inversely proportional, so we're going to write 1 all over, right, to the number of people. So let's say the number of people, right, is represented as N. So we're going to write N under. Then we're going to have another constant of proportionality. Since they said it's partially constant, this represents the partially constant part. Then it is partially inversely proportional, so there should be another constant. So I'm looking for maybe a letter we could use for the constant. We could use B since we have already used K here. So this is our first equation. So we have the cost is what is partially constant and what partially is partially inversely proportional to what the number of people. Now the next thing they gave us is that the cost per head for 100 people is what 30k. So the cost for 100 people is 30k. So cost is what 30k. Then the number will be what 100. So let us fill that into this equation. Since the cost is 30k, we are going to replace cost with 30, and we have what k plus what b all over what n. So n is 100 in this case. So let's say this is what equation 1. Then they said the cost for 40 people. So we have what, how many people? 40 people, and the cost is what 60k. So we're going to write 60k. Then we have what, how many people? 40. So n is what 40. So quickly let's write that down. Since the cost is 60k, let's replace c with what 60 equal to what the k part remains. So we have what the n as what b all over what 40. So guys, we have this nice and easy. Now this part is where we begin to apply our knowledge on simultaneous equations. So how can we make this easy? Let me just try to make do of this place so I could have some space to solve. Alright, so we have this equation, and I don't really like working with fractions, so I could do this really cool stuff. I could multiply the right hand side by 100 to eliminate this denominator here. But since I'm doing that on the right hand side, I will have to do that on the left hand side. So the same thing here, but this time I'm multiplying by what 40, and I'll do that here, and let's see what happens, right? So we have 100 multiplied by 30, which will give us what 3000, which will be equal to what? Now we have a bracket here, so the 100 is multiplying k, so we have what 100k plus, now b over 100 times 100, so the 100 cancels the 100 here, so we have just what b. And for the second equation, let's multiply 40 with 60, so we have what 2400 equals what, now we have 40 multiplied by k first, so we have what 40k plus 40 in 40, that gives us what? B. Now this is our second equation. So guys, what can we do from here? Well, we can say equation 1 minus equation 2. Now I'm doing this so that I could eliminate a variable here. If I could eliminate this variable B, I will be left with K. And the way we see this is, let's just work with this. So let's try and solve. Let's take away equation 2. So I'm going to put a subtraction sign here from equation 1. So we have what? 3000 minus 2400. And we have what? 600 equals what? 100 minus 40k gives us what? 60k. Now b minus b gives us what? 0. So we're left with what? 60k is equal to what? 600. So let's try to expand and simplify this. If we divide both sides by 60, what do we have? 60 cancel 60, and 60 in 600 is just going to give us what? 10. So k is equal to 10. Now we know this nice and easy. We can substitute into any of these equations. So let me substitute k into this equation 1 here. So you know equation 1 is written as what? 3000 equals to what? 100k plus what? B. So I'll be replacing k with 100 with 10 that we have here. So we have what? 3000 is equal to what? 100 multiplied by 10 plus what? B. So in this case, what do we have? 3000 equals what? 100 times 10 will give us what? 1000 plus what? B. Now, what can we do from here? We can see that what? B is equal to what? 3000 minus 1000. If we take 1000 to this other side of the equation, this 1000 becomes a negative. So we have B is equal to what? 2000. That is 3000 minus 1000. Now let's try to work with what we have here. I'll just be erasing this. Right. I know that. So I know K is what? 10 and B is what? 2000. So what else do we know? And what else are we asked to find? So we're asked to find that what? Because that's the main thing. Find the cost for 50 people. Find the cost for 50 people. So we know the two constants. And okay, I need to get the equation. So remember, we have C is equal to what? The constant plus what? B all over n. And now we have K is 10. So I'll replace this K here with 10. So we have C equals what? 10. And we also have B is what? 2000. So I'll replace this B here with what? 2000 all over n. So now they said find the cost for 50 people. So 50 people means what? N is what? 50. So I'll replace this n here that we see here with what? 50. And the cost to be what? 10 plus what? 2000 all over what? 50. So this gives us what, guys? 50 goes in 2000. That gives us what? 400. So the cost will be what? 10 plus what? 400. And this cost will give us what? Yeah, something is not right. So we have the n to be 50 people, and we have the I think everything is okay. 50 here. Okay, so sorry, 50 in 2000 gives us 40, right? So I might just change this to 40. So we have our cost to be 10 plus 40, which is what, 50. And take note, we have been dealing with thousand, the k, it has been the k. So we are going to have our 50,000 people, and the option is just option D. That is the correct answer. So here we've solved this question. We are going to be solving more questions. Stay tuned to this channel. Bye.